All right. Now, who's ready to try to break free from limitations and create the impact that you've always dreamt of? Yay, Selena's in. Cool bananas. All right. So, before we dive in today, I just want to start by acknowledging where we are and who we're with, because the work we're here to do is about connection. So, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of country across the world, and specifically the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, on whose land I live, work, and grow. I always like to also do a shout out to the First Nations women and their yarning circles, because we've taken a lot of inspiration from them in setting up It Girls Rock as a safe space where women can come together and share and learn from each other. And because this conversation is really about creating spaces where we all belong, I also do like to do a shout out to the and acknowledge the and celebrate really the rich diversity of identities, backgrounds, and cultures and lived experiences in the room and everywhere else. Now, speaking of differences, I wanted to share a little bit around my journey and how my differences, I should say, and how my journey led me here. So I'm just going to go off, stop sharing, and share a little bit about me. Let's see what if you come along. So to those of you who haven't met me, I know there are a couple of people that I know haven't met me, and a few that have seen me on stage yesterday even, but that's funny. But my name is Gry, and I'm super thrilled to share this space with you today. My mission is really to help purpose-driven women like you to bring your ideas into the world with confidence and amplify your impact with AI as your trusted sidekick, if you like. Because you see, your voice and your vision and your impact matter. Now, I live in sunny Fremantle in Western Australia. For those of you who are not here, there are quite a few Perthians here today, I see. And I like to start my day with a little walk down the ocean, breathe in the salty air, and kind of start with the sense of possibility. And I get to work from everywhere, and I get to work with things that I really love to work with. I might not be earning as much money as I would have loved to do yet, but I will one day. And the best thing for me is that I can actually choose whenever I like to jump on a plane and visit friends and family, and blending work and adventure as you like. But my story isn't just about where I live now; it's also about the places and the cultures that shaped me. I was born in Norway, the land of the midnight sun, very close to the Arctic Circle, where resilience and independence run really deep. I also got to spend some formative years in Botswana, a vibrant and diverse community that taught me the power of connection. Now, these experiences made me bold and outspoken and driven to create impact. If something isn't right, I speak up. If it isn't working, I'll fix it, no matter what other people think. But that same boldness, that same drive to make an impact has often led to pushback, especially after I moved to Australia and then moved up in the ranks of leadership. I was told things like, oh, you're too direct, that's rude, you're too much, you can't say that here, that's not how we do things. And basically, they were pointing out all the things about me that I now recognize as my wonderful, neurospicy, unfiltered self. So for years, I adjusted, I shrank, I became a shapeshifter. I tried to soften my edges to fit in. But all the while, I was feeling like no matter what I did, I would never be enough. But that's where my curiosity and interest in technology then became a little bit, and AI in particular, became a bit more than just a vocation. It became something that I could use to challenge the rules, change the game, and help women like you claim your space. Which brings me to moments when things looked very different. But let's start with my affair with AI, which started a long time before it became a buzzword. I actually met her first in 1986 at uni, and then I worked with early versions of AI through the 90s. And in 2018, my TEDx talk was called Powering Our Future with AI and STEAM. You know, standing on that stage and was really exhilarating, and sharing my vision for how we need to raise AI and human intelligence together, speaking my truth and feeling that I'd really landed. Wasn't always that case, but when generative AI became publicly available, I jumped in full throttle. And I assumed that everyone else would too. I've only recently really realized how many people haven't and how much they're missing out on, both in terms of productivity, but also the competitive edge and freedom that we can create. But unfortunately, expertise doesn't protect you from moments that shake your confidence. And one of the hardest moments came to me when I thought I'd found my crew. I was in this women's group where we were all working towards the same goal of more diversity, inclusion, and belonging, or equity, if you like. And I should have felt safe, but instead I felt ostracized and unsafe to bring my whole self to the party. But I kept showing up because the cause was so much bigger. It was about creating a more equitable world, which is really what I live for. You know, my motto is to create a more connected world where we celebrate differences and everyone feels welcome, valued, and inspired. But the lowest point actually came the day before I was launching my small group coaching, It Girls Rock. Out of nowhere, I was accused of conflict of interest, of competition, of stepping on other people's toes. And I was absolutely devastated. And my sister knows, she's on the call, because she says, shouldn't they be supporting you? And they didn't. And I was absolutely devastated. It's had such a massive impact on me. So I withdrew. I spiraled into self-doubt and questioned my value and my voice. And it had a severe impact on my ability to build my business and actually ask for my worth in things. But from that place, I started building out tools, building frameworks, connections, and AI technology to help me navigate the hurt, to help me navigate those moments of doubt, the bias and the burnout, to help me cope and keep showing up despite feeling that I wasn't enough. And that comes up again and again. And there came a moment when I knew something had to change. I had to stop trying to fit in, to be liked by everyone. And I started owning my spicy brain. I actually started accepting that I have a neurospicy brain. And my ability to spot patterns, hidden patterns, things before other people see them, connect the dots that other people miss, and actually see your brilliance before you see it yourself. And it was somebody in a coaching program that I'm in at the moment that said to me, but you can actually see, I feel that you see me, you see all of me. And I'm going, yeah, I do. Doesn't everybody? But, you know, this isn't something to hide. It's a superpower. And even though the devastation and the fear and the doubt keeps rearing its ugly hair still at sometimes, I now have the mechanisms to cope. And those same processes and agents and frameworks are part of what I now do with my clients. So I help build that resilience and confidence with the right support system, using the agents that I've developed, as well as the Dream Compass, which is our roadmap, and that we augment with AI. And, you know, as I started using the process with others, some may be on the call today, I started seeing some really powerful shifts. So I now get to work with women who are ready to be seen and heard, but who have felt held back by mindset, by societal pressures, or actually lacking in tech and business skills. Because guess what? Women aren't taught the same skills as men from early childhood. So together we create clarity and confidence. And I know this isn't theory. There's strategies that I have used myself, I tested and proven, and they come from my own climb out of hiding into a space where I could fully stand in my power. And the best thing is that I get to do this as my full, bold, neurospicy self. Those of you who know me know that I do show up confident, outspoken, and unapologetically me, because everything that I do comes from a place of love and care. And I'm very open to critique, and always looking to learn, live and learn. So for some of you, it might to be your own self might be to own your unique brilliance and speak up without hesitation, or to attract the right opportunities, clients, and collaborations, or streamline your business. Every woman's journey is different, but the transformations are always powerful. So I don't know which one it is for you, but I want you to think about what is it for you that you want out of things. But when I stopped filtering and seeing the world, riding somebody else's bike or vehicle, and I stopped trying to make other people comfortable, everything shifted and I started building spaces where women no longer had to hide. And I think this is one of the things that I've learned very recently, is that when it comes to connection there's research to say that if people are much easier buy from people that they trust. So it's not about being the same and belonging. It's actually about trust. And the easiest way to build trust is to be authentic. So that's what we're kind of doing to try to amplify your impact without shrinking or second guessing or apologizing. And in my Dream Kickstarter program, we move from position. We have like a stage process that we go through, and we use these things through that. So because the world doesn't need more women to play small. It needs more of us, bold, brilliant, and unmissable, to show up, speak up, and make the difference that we were born to make. And that includes you as well. So which is why I want to invite you to step into the next place together with that in mind. So my challenge to you is to think about those moments in your life or in your business where you've held back, where you've hidden, where you've shape-shifted, where you've tried to fit in. What happens if you leaned into them and transformed the fear into fuel, or the lack of confidence into fear? Am I sharing? I'm not sharing my screen, right? So that's a little bit about my journey, or a lot, maybe too much. But we all start with a vision of how we want things to be. So I'm just going to start sharing my screen again, if I can figure out how. Here we go. I'm a little bit gun shy today because I forgot to record this morning, but there you go. Welcome to those of you that I haven't had a chance to say welcome. I just decided to start on time today. So hopefully we get that. So first things first, I don't know what your dream is, but if you think about yourself, where is it that you want to be? What is it that you want to achieve in life? I mean, for me, the ocean is really important, hanging around with people and friends, and a diverse culture. That is kind of my big thing, but I don't know what it is for you. So I just want you to keep that in mind as we go through this presentation. And I'm just trying to make you all show up on my screen. Now, I know where I want to be. I want to have that freedom so I can travel and work from everywhere, anytime, and jump on a plane and help all my friends out. But reality isn't always that. And sometimes we mask a little bit. Does this ring home with any of you? Hiding behind a little mask, no matter where we are at, no matter how strong we are, no matter how much we know our stuff. So that happens quite often, and unfortunately. And I do need to get on my soapbox every now and again a little bit, because the problem is that only 21% of women feel confident speaking up in meetings and public platforms, whereas for men it's 46%. I feel like it's probably more, like even more, but hey, who cares? But there's reasons for this, because we've been conditioned from childhood to be good girls, be polite, don't be too much. We know about this, right, Ingvild? Outspoken. My sister once told me, she said, people say that I speak so much, and then I turn around to them and say, well, am I making sense? And they said, yeah. And I was like, well, what's the problem then? Imposter syndrome. I don't like to call it imposter syndrome. I think it's actually a made up word that people tell us that we've got imposter syndrome, but we actually belong in the spaces. But imagine that 75% of female leaders experience self-doubt. And when we think about the fact that there's not 50% female leaders in the world, There's a lot lower. That is a very high percentage. Not good. These things are quite shocking as well. Like 24% of media coverage is women, only 24%. And then anybody been mansplained to or had microaggressions? No? Never been mansplained to? I've been mansplained to by women. I'm going, what the heck? That's interesting. But and I've even stood up in meetings and just gone, hey, that was my idea. Not the proudest moment, but there you go. So these are also some horrible statistics. Missed opportunity, 60% less likely to be get funding, promotions of or funding. 2% of VC funding given to women businesses, when we know that women owned businesses perform better. And then because we're all held to a much higher standard than our male counterparts, by ourselves in particular, we risk burnout and stress and exhaustion. And I just do want to do a big shout out. Like, I don't have kids myself, and I don't know how I would cope if I had that on top of everything else that I have to do. And I only have a dog and a man. Well, that's like a kid, right? So we're juggling everything. We're juggling all the planning and things like that as well. So there you go. Now, are you ready for this next slide? We're going into some teaching points here.
Hello, humans. Yes, I am not Gry, though I am her slightly better-looking digital twin. Don't tell her I said that. She built me to do the glamorous jobs, like opening this session, while she saves her energy for the good stuff. Think of me as her AI sidekick. And if you're here, I'm about to become your AI sidekick too. Now, Gry's going to walk you through her 3 keys to amplify your impact with AI as your sidekick. But since I am AI, I get to spill the beans first. Key 1, authentically stand out, because blending in is for furniture. This is where you embrace your unique brilliance. And yes, AI can help you shine without turning you into a robot. Key 2, attract opportunities. AI and tech to boost your visibility so you can focus on the real magic. The human connections that actually move the needle. So sit tight. Gry's about to show you how to make AI your wing woman, your hype squad, and your strategy buddy, all rolled into one. Let's do this.
Thoughts? Feel free to. What more of them, Lola?
I've never seen like that before. I think it's awesome.
Yeah? It's a bit scary?
Yeah, very posh, very English.
Yes, I like my new accent. But the voice is quite uncanny. That freaked me out. That is my voice. I'll talk a little bit about how I made this. This was made with free software and things like that. But I'll talk a bit about it at the end. Anyone else want to share what their thoughts are? You want the posh voice, Lola?
I'm curious to know what the risk is of like doing something like that for social media posts and things like that. Do people do that?
Oh, people do. I don't. I have posted, but I've said that it's my clone, right? And I probably because, as I said or she said, that's not me talking. That's not a video of me. All right. It's made from a video of me. So that's the scary thing. So I don't know. We had in the paper here last weekend, there was a picture of a beautiful young girl. And it said you should be really scared of this this girl. And why? Because it's a deep fake, right? So there's stolen identities. People, there's a lot of scary stuff around it. But if we, and this is my whole rant on raise it right, are with uppercase AI and uppercase IT, which is about being good parents to AI. So we as women need to be involved with, and we need to be part of training up the AI, because at the moment it's all led by we know who. I'm not going to mention them. Selena, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that with what Lisa was worried about. So the videos, obviously, they can be deep faked. I've seen examples online where people just take photos that you've posted on social media and they'll actually turn that into a video of you. They'll even actually use your voice as a scam bait. So if you get a call from your mother, from your cousin, from your sister, and they're just saying, "Hey, look, I've broken down. I need money." They've used that to scam people out of money using your exact voice, your exact tone, because of something you've already posted on social media.
Yeah. Watch out. Be aware. I think that's the thing. And everything starts with awareness, and everything starts with calling things out. Now, I'm just going to have a tiny little rant here now because ChatGPT have just released ChatGPT 5, and it has cost me so much time and effort in the last week and a bit because it changed everything. It's quite okay for people who are just using it, casually and things like that. And those of you who met me yesterday, I apologize because I went on a rant yesterday as well. But for people who have got custom GPTs and some of the stuff that we were going through before Charles in the other session, it's stuffed up everything. And I was just on a call with a group of AI experts before, and I wasn't the only one going on a rant, right? Anyway, that was just ChatGPT, and that's just repeating things back and doing things. But yeah, we need to be aware, and we need to tell it, and we need to raise it, right? Okay. So I think the first section is about authentically standing out and being yourself, because being yourself will then build trust, and that is where you kind of, have to embrace your unique brilliance. And I always like to start with a little quote. I grew up thinking Dolly Parton was a bimbo that could sing only, but I've since learned that she's an absolutely fantastic businesswoman and a raving feminist. So go, Dolly. But I think this is a really, really key element that I wish that I'd listened to when I was much younger. Find out who you are and do it on purpose, and don't be apologetic about it. Right? Now, on this next slide, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. I'm going to try to have some music. I'm going to give you a minute to kind of think about 3 quirks or strengths that you have. Please share it in the chat when you come up with it, because it'll lead into what we're doing later on. And now I'm going to try to do music. Where is it gone? Here we go. Can you hear music? No. But now?
Gry, I think you're going to need to optimize the sound.
I've just got it on my phone because I've got a new laptop. Thank you. I know you're super energetic, Sarah. Curiosity, resilience, gold river. I think this music is just annoying me, not you. Hopefully. How do you feel about it when you write down your own strengths and, like sort of feel into that and, what, anything coming up? I agree, Zaida. That is you. Because I just want, and you are a great communicator. See, I know too many of you here. This is great stuff. Complete tasks at warp speed. Can you do that without AI, Lisa? I'm very good at completing tasks too, but I use AI a lot, and then I get stuck in AI when it goes.
I do now. I do use AI now, but no, that's always been the case.
Yeah. No, I think at least me as the individual I am, I'm very fast, and I get told off all the time. And I go, you know what? It's a superpower. But I think that it's really, really important to tap into our quirks and all that sort of stuff. And I love that hashtag GSD, get shit done, right? So just bear that in mind as you go through things. Now that we've identified some of the strengths, I just want to go through a couple of things that are important for owning our strengths as well. So these are the top 3 things that I think are important: storytelling power, having your own signature style and owning it, and the confidence presence. So when you use storytelling in telling your story, whether it's online or in person or whatever, you kind of share a part of your personal journey. Now, not everybody shares as long a part of their personal journey as I do, but I think that is really where you start connecting with your audience. I know that's where we start connecting with our audience and build the trust that we need to have, or the authenticity that we need to have. I just like having this one in here because having a signature style. Who here feels that they've got their own style? Yeah, you definitely do, Lola. I know you do have your own style. Come on, guys. Because I think it's really important to have that and own it. I tried to hide mine for a long, long time, and it was kind of funny. One of my friends said to me when I was interviewing her about my book, and she said, "Well, I don't think you actually found your style until after high school." I'm going, "No, I didn't." And then I changed it, But in one of my first jobs, which this is back in the early 90s, one of the bosses said, and in the days when we had to wear suits to work and all that sort of stuff, maybe not so much in Norway, but he said, "I've noticed, Gry, that you actually dress up for customer meetings. That's really good. But my sense of dress up was like a mustard colored suit jacket with a multicolored shirt inside and big wide flare pants," things like that. But this is a very conservative man that used to work for IBM. So he'd noticed. So it's good. But keeping that. And then a confidence presence. So I want to just share, when I did my TEDx talk, you've got 18 minutes to make a difference, and it's going to be up there to get your message across, and it's going to be there forever and a day, right? So I was practicing everything. When I was walking my dogs, I was talking to myself, I was recording myself, I was listening back over it. Remember, this was pre-generative AI. There was nothing. I wrote my whole thing. I put together my slides myself, all that sort of stuff. So it's really about perfecting it and getting there. I don't do that anymore in terms of talks and things, as some people saw yesterday, because I'm trying to learn to wing it more, but have a structure around it, because I go verbatim, and because I've got part photographic memory, I get stuck when I've forgotten one word, right? Very silly. Anyway, I still appear confident, right? Most of the time. So just what happens when you don't blend in. I think it's important to not dim our light, because that's what happens when we don't embrace our own differences. We start blending in, and then we start dimming our own light, which isn't what we need to do to be authentic, right? And we watch opportunities go past because we kind of go, "Oh, is that for me or not?" I've done it plenty of times, and I still do it, I'm sure. And if we don't step outside of our comfort zone, we won't grow. So that's kind of some of the key things that I think we need to watch out for if we're not ready to embrace our own differences. Now, let's get on to a few exercises as well, because who here wants a big group of raving fans? We all do, right? But how do we know how to find our fans? Did you mean to raise your hand, Lola, or no? It's just it was just on top of you. But what I want to talk about is actually, well, I'll go in through the slides, but we're going to talk about sort of defining your impact niche, which is not one of my favorite things. If anybody saw my post today, I was talking about that. But this is Danielle Laporte, and she's a famous Canadian entrepreneur, and she just basically went around and built a tribe. So look at her, look her up is what I meant to say, to see what process and what she shares around that whole thing. But find your tribe and love them hard. You've got to find out who your tribe is first, right? Now you guys are all my tribe, I hope. Now we're gonna. So I have a big issue with the term with the question, "What's your niche?" Because my niche is kind of a lot of different people, but we're all brought together by a mission, by having a mission and having a message that the world needs to hear and a desire to make a difference. And it's so Lola, you're in health. Sarah, you do some awesome stuff for kids. Mel, you're a teacher at the moment. Ingvild, yoga teacher, dog breeder. You know, we're all different people, but we all have something in common that sits in here, right? So I always feel like it's more important to look at what is it that we have inside and then look at how we can bring that out and then start defining who we work with. So we'll look at that. The Dream Compass is a framework that Joanne, my trusted partner, and I came up with because we realized that after 20, 30 years in the tech industry, we'd totally forgotten to look after ourselves. We were always there serving everybody else. And so we came up with this framework that actually takes you from your dreams and aspirations through to having a full pathway through it. We're just going to look at a tiny little bit of the dream scope today. So we kind of start out with the dreams, we navigate up potential, unlock our strengths, speak our truth, and seize our destiny. So that underpins all the coaching that I do in my programs and through all our community work as well. So today we're going to play a little bit with Ikigai. Does anybody know Ikigai or not know Ikigai? Have you done the exercise before? Or you might have to do it again. If you
No.
So Ikigai is a Japanese system for identifying your reason for being, your purpose, if you like. So it looks at what you're really good at, what you love, what the world needs, and what you can get rewarded for. And I always talk about the rewarded for because quite often as women who are purpose-driven, we have all these things we want to do in the world, and then we kind of forget that we actually need to have money to get it done, and then we get stuck in some deadpan job, which pays us money while we're doing all the good stuff for free. Right? So imagine if we could have something where we lived our purpose. So that's kind of what I do. So I've got 4 slides after this where I'm going to give you a minute on each, sort of, to answer. I'm going to give you 30 seconds of each so we don't run out of time. All right? So the first one is, what do you love? What is it that lights you up? What could you talk about all day? You can share it if you like. I'm glad you love it, Karina. Different Karina than this morning, maybe. We had a Karina this morning too. Ignore me talking all the time.
Yes, it's the same Karina from this morning. I really fell in love with this.
Come back again.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, and I even recommend a few friends. And one of my friends that I recommend, she came this morning, and then she talked in private with you, and she already is talking with you about. So
yeah.
You're fans number 1. Your fan club.
I've got raving fans. Awesome. All right. And I'm gonna jump through to the next one because it's easy to get stuck. What are you great at? What is it that comes naturally to you? What do others recognize you for? All right, 30 seconds. Is it enough with 30 seconds? You can take this exercise and use it afterwards. I'm going to do a demo of how I use it with AI afterwards. Have you got it all down? I mean, I usually do this. Mel has done some work with me before, and we usually use a lot longer time than this on it. But it's just to get your brain waves going around it. The next one: what does the world need? What impact do you want to make, and where do you see gaps that you can fill? Got it all, Sarah? You look a little bit worried.
I'm just due Botox. Don't worry, my love.
All right. You got something there? Have you got some big things that the world needs? I know, Sarah, you know exactly what the world needs, don't you? Last one. Make sure you think about this, because it's you don't forget it. I keep forgetting. All right. Now, apart from me rushing you through this, did you get? Was that a good thought provoker, or something that you can kind of use and see that can work in your in you identifying your purpose? Yes. No. All quiet. Not enough time. Maybe. All right. Okay. So, I do need to go to this next one. So, this is the one that we went through, and what we want. This has been me for a very long time, happy but poor, right? I just want to be a little bit step down there. All right. I'm going to now try to do a tiny little semi-live demo. Is that okay? Oops, there we go. Where I cheat. I always cheat a little bit. Okay. Here's something I prepared before. So what I want you to do is actually, and we'll go through a few prompts in the slides afterwards that you'll get access to. But what I did is I went and I asked Ikigai. I said, with what you know about me, what do you think my Ikigai is? That is cheating, but I don't want you to be doing that, right? But this is what it came back with. We don't need to go into the details, because the whole purpose of it is actually the prompts that. And then I went, oh, hang on, I don't like that. So this is what I want you to do. When it doesn't give you the answers that seem right, you need to tell AI that it's not right. And this is generative AI. This is not agentic, but imagine when we start using agentic AI that actually does things for you, like shopping and using your credit cards. Make sure you correct it before it goes ahead there. So I go and I correct it, and I go, no, that's not what I meant. No, it's not just in that space, and things like that. Okay. Then I've gone to it and I said, okay, great. Now, with my Ikigai in mind, and I will just say, with what you know about me, can you help me map out what problems I can best solve? Right? Now, many of us know about these things. And so it's kind of, it's come up with a whole bunch of them. And then I've gone, well, actually, there's a few different ones here. I could work with a whole bunch of different people here. But out of these ones, who has the biggest problem are ready to invest in themselves? Now, I usually say, who has the most urgent or most expensive problem and are ready to invest in themselves? And so then it comes back up with that. And then the last one is now.
Could you sorry, you just went a little bit too fast. Can you just tell me, once it gives you what it is, what was the first one out of these? What was?
Yeah, so I said, what is the most? It's in the slides as well, and I can share with you later on as well. I might put it together in my follow-up emails. But it's what is the most urgent or expensive problem that they need solving, that they're ready to give you money for. This is actually when you're starting a business, or when you're trying to get into, you want to get in your workplace, you want to get a promotion, or you want to find a job and things as well. Okay. And so, yes, and it comes up in the slides afterwards as well. And then the last one is, okay, let's get to know them a little bit better. Now, please tell me about this woman who are struggling to turn their expenses. You're an expert market researcher who knows this woman best. I know, Shirley, you've seen a more advanced version of this in a previous one. But it's really about understanding who they are, so you can meet them where they are. And then you can start asking about, What hooks can I use? How can I talk to these people? Now, it does not replace humans. You still need to talk to humans. And my favorite thing when I ask in various groups that I'm in, I say, oh, you know, can I get some feedback? Or have you asked AI? And I'm going, I live in AI. Stop telling me to go to AI all the time. I want humans. Does that make sense? So basically what we do is, and here it's saying how to attract them and all that sort of stuff, but I can take this into nth degree. This is limited what we can do in an hour, but it's just to demonstrate some of the capabilities and how I then help work with people in identifying what their next stages need to be, or could be, I should say. I'm not going to tell people what they have to do. Was that any questions on that before we move on? Apart from me going too fast, and that wasn't fast.
No questions, but I would absolutely love that question set out if I could do. Please.
Have a look at this. Let's have a look at this. Practical tips: 3 AI prompts to get you started. Discover who needs you most and how to connect with them. Look at that. Take a screenshot. Right? So it's about finding your problem space, understanding what problems you can solve and what you bring to the world. I'm going to flick. I'm happy to share that in a follow-up email as well. Focus on high-value problems and people. Please identify who has the most expensive or urgent problem I can solve, one they are ready to invest in, right? Why? Because not all problems are equal. Focus on the ones that are worth solving now. So this is the low-hanging fruit if you're starting a business, but it's also very helpful when you're trying to get a new job or a promotion to understand what it is that these companies or these leaders are looking for. And the number 33 is to get inside their world. So that's where you say, I'm most interested in solving this problem for these people. Help me understand their fears, their aspirations, pains, and motivators so I can learn how to connect with them better. Does that make sense? Have you got it now, Sarah? Good. Perfect. Right, the third point is to amplify your impact with AI as your sidekick. So I'm just going to go through a few of the different tools that I use and talk about some potential next steps. Start off with this. Visibility creates opportunities. Once you're visible, the world has no choice but once you show up, the world has no choice but to take notice. And I was talking to somebody today, so you know, if you're looking for a job or that sort of stuff, then you go on LinkedIn. If you're in a professional space, if you're looking for customers and things like that, being able to show up in a way that people understand is so important. I do think there's a mindset shift as well. And I've just got 3 sort of AI visibility fears. But what are the biggest ones here? I think Lisa was talking about identity theft. I had somebody in the morning as well talking about that, you know. And hackers and things. Any other fears that anybody specifically has around AI before I go into the ones that we've come up with? Nope. All right. So I think one of the biggest one is the fear of losing the human touch. You know, is AI going to make my work more robotic? Am I going to sound metallic almost, you know? Does it lose my personality? But if we're talking about generative AI as we are today, it can sound like you if you show it how, and it's really up to you to make sure that you guide it right. Because the number of watch out for them M dashes. I mean, there are some mistakes that ChatGPT does all the time, and it's just so annoying. And you can pick straight away that it was a ChatGPT generated. The other one is about getting it wrong. So, you know, and this is kind of about this term of that's called hallucinations, right? So if ChatGPT in particular can't find a source, a credible source, it'll make it up. It's called a hallucination. So you got to watch out. And I always tell this story from Tromsø, which is in north of Norway, where they assessed the whole education system and wrote this beautiful big report with 32 references. And when the journalists got hold of it, only 7 of them were real references. Bad. So it said they had to withdraw the report and set the whole project back by 6 to 12 months due to this. And that was, it looked credible. It looked amazing. So, it can get things wrong, and you do need to check references, and you do need to check that it's valid. And the last one is really on the AI and tech overload. I don't know about you guys, but does it feel like tech is coming at you at the speed of lightning? I just kind of go, and I'm trying to stay on top of things. I'm trying to be like a few steps ahead of people and go, well, this is good and this is good. And there's a lot of experts out there that have opinions about what you should use and what you shouldn't use and all that sort of stuff. And, the story is, what is it that you're trying to do? What are the problems that you're trying to solve? So, but it can be mind-blowing. So I think stick with what you've got that's working for you. If it isn't working, then go and look for something else, or talk to some of the expert, or talk to somebody who's done it before, walked in your shoes before.
Gry, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it possible that AI will, I don't know if steal your work is the right term, but the ideas that you might feed it, that might be your original ideas, will just kind of get populated into the engine?
It's a great question, and it's a question that every startup founder asks, even before AI. We go, well, what if somebody steals my idea? Right? An idea is only an idea until somebody has done something with it. So that's my sort of very pragmatic view on it. Doesn't mean that I wouldn't feel upset if it had happened, but the evidence is there that an idea I think ideas come from somewhere that we don't know about, right? So I think that you could sit in London, I could sit here in Perth, and who else do we have? Have we got any no, probably nobody from America today, but somebody in the US could sit at the same time and have exactly the same idea. There's a theory called the 100 Monkeys theory, and there was monkeys on an island near Japan or somewhere, and then near South America, and about the same time they started climbing the trees and not just waiting for the coconuts to fall down, right? And they were not talking to each other because they couldn't swim that far, right? So there is something there. Anyway, I don't know if I answered your question, but yes, it can steal your ideas. Not steal them, but they can. But I think for me, ideas are about evolving things and talking with people about them and creating something from the ideas. Yes, Karina, did you have did that answer, Lola?
Yeah,
no.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking more about intellectual property, but I guess you just got to do your best to protect it, right?
But people still, yeah, exactly. So what is intellectual property really? And even if you have a trademark or a patent on something, you'll have to have the money to fight the people afterwards anyway. So it's kind of like, and in my world, in tech, it's very difficult to protect technology, IP and technology. Yes, but it's a good and valid question. There are so many things we don't know about, but I think that what happens with AI is that it amplifies what we do as humans, right? And so AI in itself isn't bad. AI in itself isn't going to steal your work, but humans who use it or train it might. Okay. Sorry, Karina, did you have a question?
Yes, well, 2 comments. Thank you for asking. Firstly, regarding to the question before, well, in my opinion, maybe I completely wrong, or I don't know. AI is not going to take our jobs. The person who doesn't manage the AI is the person who is going to be jobless. It's because the AI is a powerful tool, and it's this for us. It depends on our ability to adapt, to engage, and take the best. It's my opinion. And the second, I'm planning an event with Asset Management Council about AI and asset management. And it's more than a question for you, Gry, and if any of the audience can answer. Because in this chapter, Asset Management Council, the average, firstly, 80% men, 20% women. And then secondly, the average age for this chapter is like a 50, 60 professionals they have.
My age.
So my age as well. So, but we are going to do an event with university students. So one of the speakers is telling me, Karina, I was in a conference and one of these professionals told, well, I'm going to retire soon. He has only 55 years. And he said, I'm going to list the pathway for young people and AI. They are going to take our jobs. So I'm going to get freedom. So that lady who is going to do the speech in a presentation, she said, Karina, we have to fight with all generations, with colleagues that have our age. So we don't have to give up. We have to keep studying AI, and we have a lot of potential.
I'll come and talk at your event, Karina.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll come and tell them. But yeah, no, we can talk about it afterwards as well, because I do think that we really do need to step up as women in every field, and training and being part of guiding and grounding AI and technologies. I think I understood what you were saying, but yeah.
Yeah, but how we can convince these old people, or people of our age, how can we convince that they have still potential, so they don't have to give up, because the experience is important?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you, and I think that it is part of what I'm doing as well, trying to make sure that every voice is valid, and we can't just throw it. But this has been the case. I'm irrelevant. I am not employable, because I'm probably going to be too expensive, right? At 62. Yeah. so yeah. It is a whole different story, but and maybe we should do an event together, maybe talk about this.
Let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. Sure. Thank you.
No, that's cool. Is there who's using AI? Is there any tool that could immediately help you that you're using today to get you more visible? Because that is really what it's about. Probably not SAP. I might just mosey on, but it's kind of like thinking about what tools you're using today. I'm expecting that most people here use ChatGPT and Canva and all those kind of things, but I'm just going to go through to these ones, because I know that I don't know if it's late for you guys, but it's getting late for me, and I'm probably starting to stumble my words. So I'm just going to go through some of the different tools that we've got that we're using as well. So these are some of the tools I've got, right? And I'll share more about that. But these are kind of my go-to tools in the AI and tech things that I think are valuable for visibility. But I'll just share my top 3. So LLM is large language models, mostly ChatGPT. Right now with ChatGPT 5, I'm starting to question. There are, Google's LLMs are really good. There's Claude, there's a few different other ones, and there's more coming out all the time. But that's basically. So I woke up. I'm going to tell this story. I think it was Monday morning, and I went, shoot! I've got an email that's going out that I haven't written, and it's scheduled in 15 minutes, right? And then I went, oh my gosh, I also need to get a video out in a social post. So in about half an hour or 45 minutes, I think it was, first I got that email written, put it into my CRM, got it out before it was. So I think some of you might have received it with the help of AI and other things. Then I went and I recorded I talked to ChatGPT. I got a script for a video. I did a video. And then I put that video into Canva, and I set it all up, and I posted it across, and I got ChatGPT to give me the post for all the different channels in my tone. But for, LinkedIn, it's longer and more professional. Facebook is that, and I did all that by myself and manually. But you could actually automate those processes. I talk too much when I get close to the top of the hour. And I think one of the things that you all need to have if you are trying to get outside of the workplace is to have a calendar that's open, even in your workplace, to be able to send people a calendar to organize. And that is part of your visibility. You should have it on your LinkedIn profile. Everybody, per se. Oh, hang on, went the wrong way. I also then realized, so in the room here, we've got Fathom Note Taker. Who here is not using a note taker when they're on Zoom calls? on calls. Copilot, you're not using it, Harpreet? I can see that you had some things around AI, so we probably need to have a chat, right? You need to book a meeting with me. Use AI note takers. What I do is I use that and I put it straight into my not so functional custom GPTs at the moment, and it comes out it spits out an email or a follow-up or a thing that is in my voice and tone, but it's there. But taking that conversation you've had, because you can go back and forth in emails and things, and you cannot get the sense of the person out of that, but you can get the sense of a person out of a conversation, right? And then you can build much deeper relationships. So yes, AI gets in the way maybe, but it can actually help you then talk to people at a much deeper level. And my last one is I use Opus Clips, but there are other tools as well. And it's an affordable tool to take bigger videos like this one, for example, and put it through there, and it comes up with a whole series of clips that you can just use straight away in your social media. So those are kind of my 5 go-to tools that I use. Let's see. Oh, and almost forgot about this. So the future proofing is about coming back to this thing here. I didn't tell you how I did this. I used a tool called HeyGen, just the free version. I recorded a 2-minute video. I uploaded it. It created an avatar. Then now I use that same. I've got a couple of different ones. I'm just on the free version. So I have about 5 different emails. So I'm just talking with different ones. And then I do scripts for different things. So I did 2 keynotes in May, and I had the green one introduce me before I came up on stage, right? It's pretty cool for a thing. But imagine if you could take this, and I don't know about you guys. Do you do much live videos or video recordings that you post on socials and things like that? Yeah. I get stuck, and then I go, oh, I need to retake it. Oh, I need to retake it. Imagine if you could just give it to this thing, and not necessarily for the socials. I do not really use it for socials much, but if you have little snippets that you're sharing with your community or with your workforce and things like that, or you could use it for, if you're in the workforce, you could use it for standard operating procedures and all that sort of stuff. You don't have to think about having a person doing it. You could just do that sort of stuff. So I think it's pretty cool for the future. And I am going to flick through here very quickly. We talked about AI taking your jobs, but it's people, like Karina pointed out, it's people who use AI that could take your jobs. It's companies that use AI that have a competitive edge over you, because you can actually create, if you have your own company or your own business, or you're working for somebody, using AI to create competitive edge is what's going to win you the business. If you're not using AI, your message can get drowned out as well, because you can't kind of pinpoint the right thing. So we talked about finding the right problem that we're doing and that we're solving for people, etc. And your voice doesn't scale, and that's the thing. You can come up with so and so many ideas, but if you don't use AI, you can your conversation stay one-on-one, and AI can actually help you. You have this little voice message that you get to people. You have AI calling up people and keeping them warm, whereas you can then spend time on following up people and becoming building trust and friendship, so that people will buy from you instead of or buy you if you're looking for a job. And that was it. So this is what we've gone through today, and I don't know how I managed to go over time, but I have done now. So but I don't know if I mentioned it at the beginning, but I'm happy to stay for another 15 minutes if anybody has questions and things like that. The one thing that I do want to say is that everybody's journey is unique, and there is no one size fits all. So everything that I do with individuals, as people who've worked with me will attest to. I don't say, here's how you do it for everybody. We actually go and we customize and we tailor for everybody. And there's no such thing as a silver bullet. Was there any aha moments? Is there anything that you've taken out of today that you like you're going, oh, okay, I really need to look at that? feel shape? Yes.
Yeah, I definitely did. The AI, so I use ChatGPT for literally everything for work related. So if I ever went for a job, I'd be like, do you want AI Sarah or real Sarah? But what I actually really liked is how you can, the actual prompts. I've
Yeah.
never done that before.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to actually go away and see what I can come up with and how to just make millions of dollars. Bring it on. Thank you.
Well, you've got a business under your hands. I know that you do. Anybody else? Any
Yes,
other?
in my
Yeah.
Sorry.
in my
You know.
I go. Okay, in my case is to use AI with a human touch. A couple of years ago, I was with a very hard situation. I used ChatGPT for everything. And then one time I had a consultation, like he was like a my psychiatrist or psychologist, whatever. And there it was a moment that he told me, okay, Karina, I cannot help you anymore. At this stage, you need to go to a doctor, a real human doctor. So it's a lesson learned. Use these tools with a human touch.
I think that's a really important point. I know a lot of people use ChatGPT as their counselor or their psychologist. It is not that. Remember, it was created to make you like it, right? So everything it says is to please you, and so you might have some very hidden things under there. And I can see Lola, the health practitioner here, going, "Yeah." How about you, Lisa? I'm just going to flick through because I want to just share a couple of next steps, if that's all right, and then I can come back to you. Is that okay? Yeah. So I just wanted to share a little bit of a story. Oriel I've worked with for quite some time, and she was in a space. We didn't really use so much AI, and I do like to tell this story because she runs an AI company, right? But this was pre ChatGPT. So what we were looking at was really how she could get the right language and the confidence to work with her tech teams, because she's a non-tech tech founder. So we worked really deeply on that. And then when the generative AI came out, we started using that to kind of amplify that sort of thing. But what I did want to share with you is that if anybody has any thoughts, like Sarah, Karina, anybody, Zaida, Nemo, I don't think I know you, or Aria, Simone, please feel free to book in a free or complimentary breakthrough session with me, and I'll go through with you where you are, what you are with your visibility gaps, or even your tech gaps or your AI gaps, and then we can look at, a kind of mini plan for you. And if you've got any specific questions, we can go through that as well. So that is a complimentary call. I'd love to see, help you kind of see how you can get those prompts right, Sarah, right? So, because there is prompt engineering and there's prompt architecture, and there's also ways that you can, which we've not looked at all now, is the custom GPTs, how you train your custom GPTs. I'm not allowed to say train, but I say it anyway. You have projects that you can train as, or ground, some people want me to say, grounding, right? Configure them. So there's a whole bunch of different things there. So everybody here is very welcome to book a call with me. It's a free call to just look at where you're at, and then we can look at and putting together, like, these are the things that you could do. Like, you might want to get more visible on LinkedIn. You might want to do this. You might want to figure out how to find your target audience for you, Sarah. Right. So because, and I do always have, you've put that thing there. And I also put a little, I put together a little sort of dream compass visibility map as well. If you can pop that in the chat as well, which is thank you for staying till the end. I hope I wasn't blabbering on too much, but I do want to. This is my favorite slide because I have such a girl crush on Mel Robbins.
Me too.
so it's like,
yeah, me too.
So me three.
So but you are only one decision away from a completely different life. So I hope I can help you with that. Sorry, Any questions, Lisa? I'm coming back to you because it was about your takeouts or your aha moments in the presentation. I just wanted to get to the end in case somebody needed to leave.
Yeah, I just actually had a question.
Yes.
Just about the creating those videos, like avatars of yourself. What's the software that you use to do that?
I used HeyGen.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just used, there are others out there as well. I just did it as an experiment in a thing, and it's just fun to do. But then you can look into deeper ones. Like I said, I was using the free version, and then I just have multiple logins because you can only have one avatar for free. I can't.
How do you spell HeyGen?
HeyGen with a G.
HeyGen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Might be my dodgy accent. Sorry.
No. It's HeyGen. Whoever Jen is, I don't know. Any other questions or thoughts? Aria, Nemo, where are you guys coming in from?
I'm coming in from Germany, Berlin.
Oh, right.
I just recently moved from Kenya, East Africa.
Oh, yeah.
So product designer, and I've been using a lot of AI for my projects, in my master's, of course, and vibe coding. But I've been really, I feel stuck a little bit because I'm trying to chase everything that is coming out with AI, and I feel like I'm overwhelmed. So.
So that third point was that third fear is big, especially when you're working in the product design and the tech world as well, because there's so much coming at you and you're doing. I was just talking in a group called WITI, Workforce Innovation. I can't remember what it stands for. It used to be Women in Technology, and then now it's called something else. And there's a lot of AI experts there, and we were all having a rant about ChatGPT 5. Because it's changed everything specifically around the code. So you said that you use it for coding as well, did you, Nemo? Or is it Nemo? Are you still there? Oh, she's in the waiting room. Suddenly. Now we have two Nemo. That's funny. But yeah, so AI changes all the time, and it comes up. Oh, you're on. We have two of you, and now you're on camera. Thank you.
Okay.
So did you say that you actually use it for coding as well?
Basically because with product design, the UI side of things, everyone is shifting to vibe coding, especially for startups, since most of them don't have the money to pay for product design, research, UI, front end, back end. So I feel like front end and UI design is really shifting into vibe coding just to really get the product out there. So I feel like I'm running every day trying to chase what's the big thing, how do I get myself out there, how do I make sure I'm still I'm giving value to every space that I'm being let in. Yeah,
it's a really interesting one because it actually means with this kind of coding and things, it actually means that anybody here, not just people like Nemo and I who've worked in the tech industry. Am I saying your name right, by the way?
Yes, but you can just call me Charity. I think the Nemo part is the
I'm fine with all sorts of names. I'm used to it's like this. But is that people who haven't worked in the tech industry can now, there used to be the low code and then the no code, and now there's AI, and you can actually generate apps and just tell it what you want. I did hear on that call I was on, Nemo, that see you, Karina. Oh, I missed her. Feel free to drop off if you don't have questions and things, people. That the Claude is better for the apps than GPT-5 has really screwed it up. Just saying.
Yes. There are also others that are coming out like Lovable that are really for them. But I think with that, every company is trying to come up with the next big thing. And even with Figma itself, you can now start creating websites with that. You just have to give it a prompt. So I feel like, especially for people in the tech space, it's a bit more harder for us because, as you said,
you have to stay on top of different things. But the thing is, like, for those in the call here who are not in that tech space, please book a call. I'd love to chat with you one day as well, and just see what you're actually doing and things, because my background is not in product design but product management, right? And I was a programmer in the beginning. But for other people who are not in the tech space, you can build a website in Canva, like an information website in Canva like that. Phew, no problem. So nobody needs to do that. Cool. Anyone else with comments? We're at 8:12 my time.
Got a little question, Gry.
Yes, Lord.
What do you mean when you say that ChatGPT-5 has messed everything up? What's that?
So ChatGPT, I thought I was having a rant about it earlier on today. I can stop sharing now, right? We don't really need to do this anymore. So ChatGPT-5 is a unified model where they've mushed everything together, and it's supposed to be much better. It has improved, or allegedly it's going to improve the hallucinations and things like that. But what's happened for those of us who've actually been using, sorry, I didn't see your message over there, for who have been using, setting up custom GPTs or training their projects and things like that, it's really messed up. So I have one that I've trained to help me with my LinkedIn newsletter and things like that. It usually takes, max half an hour. It took me 4 hours on Friday, because I have a certain structure. I've told it exactly how I want it. I just plug it in and that sort of stuff. And now I have to go back over and I get so furious with technology. So I just go, no, you can't do this. And then I try to fix it, but it doesn't work to fix it necessarily. So yeah, so I don't know if that, so it's supposed to be a unified model that is taking everything in. When they first put it out, there was no return. You couldn't actually go back to the old models. They brought that back in again.
All right. So can you go back to the old model? Can you just use the 4? Can you just use the 4 instead, or 4+?
You can go back now, as far as I could see, but I had to go and switch it on. But also the cool thing about ChatGPT and other generative AI is that you can actually go and ask it why it's behaving differently, and then ask it how to fix it, and then it might give you a script to help you fix it. It's like, I just think that's kind of funny, It's like, hey, you stuffed up, help me fix you. It doesn't always work, so you need to know what you're doing, right? So that was cool. I hope that answered your question. All right. Anything else? How are you still, Charles? I'm talking your head off, I think.
Great.
Who is that?
It's Ida.
Oh, it's Ida, yes. I can't see you move.
I know there's something wrong with my camera. I don't know what's wrong with it. I was using ChatGPT today to write a bit of a speech, and I liked what it came up with in the beginning, and then I wanted to make modifications to it, so I instructed it to make modifications to it, and when it came back, it completely gave me something totally left field. And is that one of the problems that you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, because I actually swore at it because I got so frustrated.
Yeah, I've been swearing an awful lot the last week or so, honestly.
And then I asked it again for the same version as the original script that I'd written, but I wanted to add something in again, and then it totally gave me something completely different to the second version and the first version.
This was me on Friday when I was trying to do my newsletter. I was so livid. You have no idea.
Okay, so it's not that I'm doing something wrong, it's just that it's
it's the changes that they made, and I think they're getting a lot of backlash for it at the moment. The intention was good, but yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome. If anyone else? I can't believe you're still up, Shells. I would be in bed.
I started super early this morning at BNI at 6:30 a.m. So.
Oh yeah, you must be fading. Did you get anything out of that? A different perspective than the other one that we did? Yeah. Cool.
Yep. Cool. Really good.
Awesome. Thank you. Final question.
I'm gonna go.
Right. See you, Shells. See you tomorrow.
You.
See you. Bye.
Good night, ladies. I'm off.
All right. See you, Zaida.
Thank you so much. I'll definitely book a call.
Yes, please do. Please do.